So a lot of layoffs are happening in Hollywood. A lot of
Mm.
downsizing, and
What?
and there's a lot in the business.
How
Post
much?
strike,
I'm scared for my job.
after all the details and guidelines are ironed out with these strikes, they're like, and now you're finished. All right.
I mean, do I need to
That
be worried
aside,
about my job?
no, you shouldn't be. That
If you're
aside,
in Hollywood, maybe.
if you're in Hollywood, that aside, there is one studio that seems to have an optimistic view about downsizing. At least that's
A
what it feels like.
plan.
A planned downsize. And actually, they're using fun phrases like "one Paramount,"
Mm-hmm.
and we'll get to that in a little bit.
What?
But basically, Paramount's got a interesting plan, a 3-point plan. We're gonna come up with a plan. We're gonna leave the room. We're gonna talk. We're gonna come up with a plan. And we're gonna come back. It's gonna be a 3-point
love it.
plan.
I want more companies to be doing this. Here is how
The 3-point
we
plan.
are going to be implementing this plan in the future.
Yeah, but for
Okay.
some reason, it just comes across like Dunder Mifflin's collapsing and Michael Scott's there on stage with him. That's what it
Mhm.
feels like a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
It says Paramount Global CEO Bob Bakish said Thursday that the company will continue to reduce its global workforce to operate as a leaner company and spend less. But there were
Lean,
no
mean,
further
right machine.
details in the memo to staff obtained by Deadline following a Bob Live town hall this morning.
He's got a name for
funny.
it.
I
Bob
love it.
Live.
I love
Bob
it.
Live.
I love calling your employees and being like, "Hey, everybody, hop on my my Bob Live."
You know
That's what he's
funny.
doing. Too.
They do that where I work.
Oh
They
my
do that
gosh.
where I work.
Goodness.
The company has 3 main strategic goals moving forward: maximizing content, driving streaming profitability, and further unlocking the power of One Paramount.
Paramount seems to
incredible.
be displaced. The
That's
power
fun.
of One Ring is what my brain
Uh-huh.
says.
Throw it
Um,
into the fire.
All right, so let's go through these individually and let's discuss them. So maximizing content with the biggest impact. That summarizes basically what's profitable, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's the biggest points of return.
I think it's the third sentence down. And for our
Okay.
audience and partners around the world, it's become very clear that our Hollywood hits are the biggest draw. In 2024, we're focusing our resources on the most powerful, resonant franchises, films, and series that perform across platforms globally. So what it sounds like to me is streaming, the originals and things haven't hit quite as hard as they would have liked.
Mhm.
No.
What
I mean,
was
they got Mission Impossible now.
what was something that popped up on Paramount Plus that was really worthwhile? Was it
All right.
just what The Offer? Was that on Paramount Plus?
Yes.
Yes,
The
and
Offer,
also
they're doing the Halo series. They did Clifford. They did
I know that
the Mayor of Kingstown.
Mayor of
yes.
Kings, yeah, or was it the Tulsa one? Tulsa King?
Tulsa King,
Was that something else?
Yeah, that's on Paramount Plus.
So, I know some of those people liked. I enjoyed The Offer. I would recommend it to people who are interested in production and The Godfather, or just Miles Teller in general.
Yep.
Eddie Miles.
Also,
what
think
it
about
seems
this
like,
real quick before you say that. Also, Yellowstone, Paramount owns the release for Yellowstone,
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
and
That's
it's
a pretty big one.
subsidiaries. It's prequels and whatnot. It's
So they do have
backstories.
quite a big they got quite a few heavy hitters, but I wouldn't say their library is that vast. I mean, Yellowstone alone is pretty big, but like if you're just going for that and you're not watching anything else on there, then maybe it's not worth it.
right. And it seems like what they're trying to do here is they're saying that the originals are not our priority. We really want to make sure that we are putting front and center the stuff that has worked in the past.
Yeah.
Big movies that go
Right.
into theaters, big TV shows, things like that.
Like I said, the Mission Impossible movies that are being
Right.
released on there.
Right. I mean, we saw a lot of streaming, a lot of awards this year go to streaming service TV shows. But
Mhm.
when the offer came out, did it get anything? Did it get any
No.
recognition? And it had some of the greatest performances of a television series that I've seen in years,
Yeah, it was an
and
incredible series.
incredible. And it got no recognition. Um, so I think they've definitely noticed that, and they want
Yeah.
to focus on their Hollywood stuff.
It definitely brings it we're kinda jumping the gun, but the second point is drive to streaming profitability, and so
Yeah.
what they're,
Yeah.
essentially saying here is making the streaming platform for Paramount Plus profitable, because that's what outside of Netflix, they're all struggling to do this, right?
Hmm.
Max is doing okay, but because they've always operated with the HBO model for a long time, they've been doing the TV and the series game. But a lot of places like Paramount, uh, Disney, who owns Peacock? Is it Universal? I don't know. These people they don't know how to operate in this streaming world where big profits come down, right? But it's what
Well,
the audience wants.
I think this is a an optimistic, um, potentially a good move here from Paramount to
Mhm.
say, like, we are going to focus on the movies and the stuff that works. We're also going to try with that second point of the article to make our streaming profitable where it's profitable in the US, in Canada, in Australia,
The UK.
in the UK. Where it's profitable, we want to make it profitable. We want to grow it. And in other countries, we're going to go with that. We're going to market to market, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
So seeing how the people in those areas react, it's going to be less of the um, overall streaming
right.
views and everything that a lot of companies have been doing.
And I would put Paramount and Apple TV Plus in this category. When you're
Mm,
talking
Yeah.
about what's available on your platform, it's pretty slim pickings, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
yeah,
There's just not a lot for both Apple TV and Paramount. I feel like you guys didn't have a big enough library yet for your streaming services,
right.
because
I
you're
think
over there
that's
paying for it, and it's like you don't get a lot.
I mean, I think that's a big reason why the offer failed,
Mm,
is because nobody had Paramount Plus when it came out. Nobody was really using it for watching TV shows, and so nobody, when the offer dropped, it didn't garner any viewership.
right. Right. Which is the biggest unfortunate. Our videos basically, we should retitle it just "The Offer Needs a Comeback." I don't know.
Right.
The last one,
Uh,
let's hit really fast. So
yeah.
this is a humorous one.
So I mean, it's buzzwords. It's
Mhm.
further unlocking the power of One Paramount. This is just their drive to make
Yeah.
like the internal workings of their company work with this shift.
Mhm.
So collaborations, teamwork, cross promotion, innovative partnerships, data insights.
Mhm.
It's um, prioritizing inclusion, employee and leadership development.
Mhm.
Um, we look to expand our shared services model as we streamline operations. So even saying that, um, just trying to make the company work,
Right, right.
basically
In some
internal.
ways, yeah, and in some ways, this is kind of a Paramount reset, a big one, because they're
Hmm.
basically saying we have
Yeah.
to take a few steps back, but for the intention of moving forward much stronger and larger. You know what I mean?
I do want to hit up just a few of the things that he says earlier in the article. Last year, Paramount Plus continued to be one of the fastest growing paid streaming services, and Pluto TV was the most widely distributed fast service in the world. And not wrong.
Mhm.
Pluto was used quite a lot because it was free to use with ads.
Yeah.
And there's actually quite a bit on Pluto TV to watch.
For that though, Pluto TV was so difficult to operate, and it's still so difficult to operate. Their look is not good. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I mean, he even says we had the number one show on television, 5 number one box office debuts, and 1 number one broadcast network for the last season. Just to name a few of these accomplishments. So letting everybody know that they had some successes, but towards the end, it's we've been on our own journey as a company to realize the full potential of One Paramount as we transition our business from linear to streaming,
right?
And continue fine tuning how we window and monetize our content. That's really important. How we monetize our content seems to be the big issue for all of these companies.
Yeah, that's the money maker. That's how you remain in business. Is you got to make enough money to pay for what you're dishing out. And
it seems like their idea is maybe we go with what worked.
Yeah,
maybe we go with what worked in the past,
which is not a bad strategy. It's
maybe not abandon that completely.
Yeah, that's true. Which means, do we have to just keep getting more and more Tom Cruise?
Right.
I mean,
that works.
We like it.
Tom Cruise.
And works. I'm sure this is a great article along with the Bob Live to receive right before you receive your fired letter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, Paramount is just, they're going to be coming up in 2024. They're going to be a lean, mean fighting machine that's going to be sticking to the same thing, and they're not trying anything new.
We thank you for everything you've done for this company. Your services are no longer needed. #One Paramount. One Paramount is trending on X.
Let us know down in the comments below what you guys think of this huge industry shift. Do you think Paramount has the right view of it? Or do you think they're just trying to save face in a ever collapsing Hollywood regime? Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Like this video, and we'll see you next time.